trying to fix the keyboard on the laptop. Like I said, I got a couple of keys that don't work. I tried updating the driver, I tried registering, editing the registry, which is not working either because it reverts back to what it was before. Go a little do some washy, and go to sleep, come back later as always, around 6:30 or 4:30. That keyboard is a motherfucker. I don't know what the hell I need to do to get it to work. It looks like we gotta remove the motherboard to get to the keys. That's too much work. Be just the keys, I guess. I don't know. I mean, like I said, it was, it happened right after I bought the laptop. It didn't last very long before the keyboard stopped working. So like I said, they opened it. I bought it, and the keyboard, I started having issues with it, immediately. Within a week, 2 weeks, a month, or something like that, because they got to the laptop, they took it, they opened it, and they did something to it. And which is why the keyboard is not working. So, who knows? Maybe I'm not going to remove the motherboard to look at the keyboard because it's only like 3 keys or something. It's only 3 keys that don't actually work, so it's not really 3 or 4, I don't know, 6. So it's not really necessary to dig out the fucking motherboard just to get to the keyboard. It's fucking cold. The thing that I noticed too is that sometimes the laptop didn't reach 100% just now, only 99%. And updating the BIOS, it jumped from 60 to 65. So this laptop is acting, it's acting a little bit strange as well. Now it charged up. I got from 65 to 99% pretty fast, but it seemed like it was hanging with the other BIOS. It jumped immediately to 5 percentage points after a BIOS update. So it's a little bit it's a little bit strange like that, but I mean, it works fine now. The USB ports, I even replaced the system files for USB with newer versions, and it still doesn't it still disconnects, and it's still yeah, it's charging okay. It's charging the phone at 1600 milliamps. It's supposed to be 18. Usually from that USB-C port you can get 2200, almost 18 watts of power. It's a USB 3.0. It's USB 3.0 all around. So it should be, even from the USB-A ports. The USB-A ports are actually less reliable. They're less reliable than USB-C, like I said. And even on the chargers, the USB-A chargers are less reliable than USB-C, and they charge slower. And it does the same on the laptop. It's usually USB-A doesn't charge very fast at all. It's something like 300, 600 milliamps. Now it's supposed to be around 2,000 plus milliamps from all the USB ports. Now it's supposed to be 2200, 24. It's supposed to be 18 watts of power. So I'm not getting that from those USB ports anymore. Now it was working in the beginning. In the beginning it was working, charging faster. Now that USB-C port is 1600, 1800 milliamps, and that seems to be the limit with that one now. So it's even a lower limit than before. Usually, like I said, it should have been 2200 or 2400 or something like that on the USB-C port. I even think I saw 32. Like a full 25 watts coming out of there, but I don't know. I mean, I don't really exactly remember. Like I said, I know it was closer to 18 than what it is now. So it seems like it's dropping in output as it gets worse and worse. So, like I said, something is, they're flashing something to those USB ports that's probably not replaced by the BIOS. Something is maybe, like I said, it could be an IC chip, as they call it, fast charging IC chip that's needs replacing there. Just like on the phones. I don't know. It is. I'm not an expert when it comes to that kind of stuff. Like I said, it's another strike. It's a Wednesday. They're striking again. Amazing.
What are your thoughts on Muslim now? What are your thoughts?
Aqui nem está.
Go ahead and watch some Andor. It's our favorite Mexican superstar. They got a new Jeepers Creepers out, which is doesn't look very well made. Today we've got Friends of Essex. Hopefully give them something good. Construction crew.
You'll know where you are.
But like part of the reason I'm doing was to get away from the last question. And then I've got no future. But I think that was like,
These shoes are burning right now. Shit, they scaffolded the fucking Starbucks, man. Gotta go look for a bottle. My head hurts a little bit now.
So I think let's keep the radio and then so when do you less? Okay. I would go 60 though. It's got to be at least half. Okay, cool. It depends on your out. You know, 60, 65. But the Tommy, so the French do this. If you look on like black then you're right.
Just picked them up. Just picked up the trash just now. Which is not very good. Nice scaffold at that Starbucks. It was practically brand new in there last I looked inside. The last I looked inside of there, it was practically brand new. Yeah, my head hurts a little bit right now. Yeah, it smells funny. Like greasy. It smells like shit. Very bad. Goddamn rain, man. Goddamn it. I actually have to get an umbrella today. All the keys working. It's probably something on the inside of the laptop. I don't know. actually enough going into this box. I'm going blind in there. This umbrella's broken. Yeah, I got some 500 screenshots from YouTubers on their videos to give me more content to make. I gotta go through them, make them HDR, expand them, pain in the ass. Yeah, my head is killing me. Goddamn. Feels like I got a lobotomy, I guess. My head really hurts. It's fucking cold. Yeah, so I'm not sure as to why this fucking keyboard doesn't work. I gotta probably need to open up take out the motherboard and flip it over. And maybe do something. I found a hard drive tether cable. It's expensive actually. It's like 11, 12 pounds for a cheap one. We got different ones. It's like a 10-pin connector, so it has power and data. So it's like a serial ATA connector for a 2.5-inch hard drive, and I don't have that connector, the tether in there. So it's not that expensive to hook up a second hard drive in there and have a second hard drive to put more stuff in there. Because I do have a 10,000 RPM. I have a 10,000 RPM serial ATA drive. It's just sitting in my bag. It's probably nothing on it now. They probably corrupted the hard drive, but we can put it in there and format the drive and use it. Oh yeah, I needed one of those, yeah. It's a sharp, it's sharp. Yeah, I was looking for a blade like this from a box cutter. It's sharp enough. Yeah, it's actually kind of dull. It's a little bit dull. Ah! Well, it's not that dull, is it now? Yeah, it's not that dull. But I need one to cut the screen protector because it's not I still need some trimming. I like to trim the screen protector because it's coming off in areas where it doesn't fit properly. So.
Okay, boo.
Yeah, this thing is sharp for being so dull. Let me put it on the back of the phone. Very, very interesting. Yeah, I found me a nice sharp blade. A razor blade, like a box cutter blade, so I can trim my stuff. It's fucking cold down here and it's gonna rain. We got some good stuff today. Some good cottage pie would be nice. Some good mashed potatoes and sausage. Got a little late. Wow, that blew out my eardrums. Fuck. There's another Churchill, that's for sure. Yeah, I started raining just now. Yeah. Yeah, my fucking head hurts for sure. It's that fucking heat I'm hitting there. It's really, really bad. Even my jaw hurts from it. Even my jaw hurts from it in my face. Just in time. got some time, we got some rain. I've been using this service call for some of the phone stuff, and it's there's no SIM card manager now, so I'm trying to turn off as much as I can. And mobile data is working, but the SIM card manager doesn't work now in the settings app. Crashed it in the settings app, so it's a good thing. I don't need SIM card manager. Yeah, I don't know what taxi these drones are fucking talking about. Like I said, they do this with anybody that is them. Because like I said, when I first came to London, I got a taxi from the bus stop to go to WikiLeaks and discuss blowing the cover on their little framing program that they had going on. Of course, that wasn't going to happen. So I got a taxi from the bus stop back in 2016, right before Brexit, I think it was. And the taxi driver was ours truly, Churchill himself. Like I said, they keep talking about some taxi now. Like I said, it's one thing after another. Bicycles, taxis, phones, bags. Them motherfuckers on the road. Like I said, so when I came over here the first time in 2016, I got a taxi from the bus stop, and the taxi driver was ours truly, Churchill himself. Understand? So, maybe that's the taxi that they're talking about, or who the fuck knows? I saw taxis in Romania as well. I saw an English black cab in Romania, and not too far from my house. Never saw one of those in Romania before. Yeah, it's one thing after another. Taxis, bicycles, fucking bags and shit, and fucking, I don't know, phones, fucking name it. This motherfucker's on a roll. And let's go ahead and connect up to the Wi-Fi a little bit. Man, my head really does hurt. I can't see straight. Like I said, it was mostly this Churchill club that I saw active in Georgia and New York. Pretty much everywhere I went. I saw Churchill everywhere. Georgia, New York, Florida as well. Churchill everywhere. No matter where I went, I saw Churchill. Like I said, apparently someone else seems to be a standard procedure, just like I suspected. It's someone else came across them before in America, and it doesn't surprise me. There's a shitload of them. In my opinion, it's very likely that at least 75 to 50% of the American population is probably Churchill. Probably Churchill and Queen Elizabeth. I mean, it's absurd how many there was. Right in Georgia when this started. The only thing I saw was Churchill, Dickhead, Jacob. That's pretty much the only people I saw in Georgia, Florida, and New York that were active when this started. Let's go ahead and do this Q68.
Why not you make? Why not you? I don't know you people. Exactly. Exactly. Why ask that me? Huh? 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 You put it? Yeah. You did that? No, drink it. Come on, drink it. Bicycle or e-bike? About horse. You ride the horse? pengalaman. Dari Nigeria. Dari Nigeria. Mau jadi orang boy. To be honest with you, they've actually boots have actually got reputation. Yeah, you don't get any deals.
I've got your boots for me, Hello, mate. Cool. Milky sugar? You're going to start down, yeah? Hi, Alex.
Yeah, white coffee, 3 sugars.
Coffee, 3 sugars. There's 2 already in it, so I'll put your next one in, yeah?
Yeah, very nice.
Milk.
Yeah, white. Excellent.
You're welcome, you know that.
Thanks very much.
Hello. One coffee, 4 sugars. 2 already in, so I'll put you in this one. That's it. What's up, Alex?
Same thing again.
Same again. Oh, that's all right. I don't mind that.
Yeah, I like my coffee in pairs.
Yeah, I know. I do the same in the morning.
Yeah, a couple would be nice. Every morning, a couple of coffees.
Yeah.
They go a long way. You know?
Yeah.
Super nice.
How are we? 53? Maybe we'll just get them for the race.
Boy, I'm going to get you, boy. I'm going to get you the food and I'll bring it down to you. I'll bring you down the food. I'm just going to get it. I'll bring it up to you.
Sorry.
This side.
This is ridiculous. Come back next time. This guy's taking forever over here.
One by one. One by one.
No sugar. White, no sugar.
Oh!
Phil! Phil! I ain't seen again. How are you?
All right, well done, Tom. Cheers. All right.
Yeah.
Hi sir, how are you?
All right.
Meryl, hi, great, we decided to take you.
Pasta with ham and green sauce, and we've got chicken curry.
Pasta.
Pasta. Thank you. Can we get you any crisps at all?
Green, yeah.
Oh, very good.
Hey, you're right, is that going up?
Anything filled?
Sorry, anything
Filled?
filled?
Don't want it over there.
There you go. Thank you. Would you like ham?
Ham and cheese, yeah.
Tea, coffee, coffee?
White tea, 2 sugars.
Please. Tea? No. There you are.
Let me get 3 sugars. Can I get 3 sugars?
I didn't know
Yeah, just put it in there. Very nice, thanks.
There you go.
Extra large. That's it.
Oh, shit. Look. Stop on the floor. Can I get no more?
Let's go again. Oh, 30 minutes.
Wait. You got each other. Where are you going? Oye, y pones.
Oh yeah, come past. Thank you.
Let's see, is this shit any good?
One minute.
Yeah. Oh, the pizza place down George Bedford. Sorry? You've got whatever. Don't get that every day.
I had to dip the first thing in the morning. Oh yeah, and I couldn't get off with my hands.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And I used to say, if no one threw their litter there,
No, totally get it. Right.
Hello. How are you? All right?
How are you?
So what's the news? What's the gossip? I don't know. Nothing. Nothing else.
Sam been busy? And a lot of people around?
They have some events in Trafalgar Square.
Smash me in the face. Yeah, right.
What, Rick? Chicken hot pot or a macaroni cheese?
Chicken. No.
Sorry. You got to come first.
Can I get this one there? Any ham and cheese left?
Sorry?
Any ham and cheese? Chicken there? Yeah, that one, very nice. White tea, 3 sugars? White tea, 3 sugars.
Sorry, do you
It's normally at the bottom.
Doesn't make sense. Why so much?
Yeah, call settings is the sim manager. I had it frozen. Tethering doesn't really turn off unless you leave the permissions enabled. So that's something to. I'm gonna do a reset of the previous patch to see how the service call works with tethering when everything is on. At least it didn't rain. Go to sleep.
Okay, let's see that way. Oh, lovely.
some kind of struggle.
When you
I'm gonna go to sleep before we get hit with a winter blizzard in next October. Cool. Yeah, that box is smelling like vape again. It smells like second time this happened in 2 weeks. So someone is blowing some radioactive shit in there. It's probably the reason why I'm going blind. Second time again. Second or third time I smelled it. Yeah, the tea second time was no good. More of this burping shit. Yeah, they make it a point in the Rings of Power that people of the Southlands are destined for darkness. You know, that's exactly what I think of this crew in their bag. I mean, I don't know what kind of military artificial intelligence program they got looking into the future for them. But like I said, at this rate, all of them will be black eventually anyway, or clones, or whatever the hell they're doing. You know, just like the orcs. You know, the orcs are cloned. You know, that's what they discover in that fortress in the north in the first episode when they find the ice road. They find clones of orcs. You know, and they make it. You know, even the elves are saying this as well. The corruption of men, and in the Rings of Power, it talks about. They say that they are the Southlanders are destined for darkness. And that's exactly what these people with the bag are. You understand? They represent those Southlanders that sided with Sauron or Morgoth. Morgoth, whatever the hell his name was. You know, and like I said, you know, besides buying yourselves a very dark future, literally and figuratively, you're not doing anything with that bag, other than ensuring a very dark future, literally and figuratively, because you know that's the outcome every time, right? You know, it really, you know, it's like I said, the whole idea of the Lord of the Rings and Tolkien is what they don't, you know, is what they don't tell you is that the elves would have never risked their neck to save the Southlanders. And it's a fairy tale. Like I said, there is no second or third age. The second and the third age is completely invented. What you need to realize is that the elves would have never stuck their neck out for any fucking Southlanders. Understand? It's just like they said, you know, in the Rings of Power, they are destined for darkness. That's exactly what this crew with their bag is. Understand? They represent the Southlanders. And the Tolkien works, you know, it's based loosely on some reality, Doggerland sinking, etc., Western Europe, etc., it's based loosely on some reality, but the reality is that the elves are not stupid. They would have never, in a million fucking years and infinite immortality, they would have never stuck their fucking neck out for any Southlanders. That's what you need to realize. It's completely fiction. It would have never happened. You know, that part right there where you see a coalition of elves, dwarves, and men is completely fictional. The elves would have never done it. Understand? It's not hard to figure that out. You know, they keep saying, and they even say this, even though it's fictional, that you know there was some kind of coalition of men and elves. They keep saying, you know, they keep pointing at the corruption of men. And in the Rings of Power, they tell you that the Southlanders were destined for darkness. You know, they keep saying this. It's not that part is real. Understand? And because of it, the elves would have never been, you know, predisposed to helping out any man. Understand? It's that part of some kind of multiculti, elvish, dwarvish, and human coalition is completely fictional. You know, the first stage might be something, you know, to look into, but the rest of it, second and third, isn't real at all. Wow, these fucking drones cannot get in the fucking way much longer like this. I really feel like walking around here and slapping them in the fucking face. Understand? It's, you know, they also make it a point that some of them are half-elves. You know, like a half-elf like Elrond or something. They keep talking about that fellow being a half-elf or something like that. The elves would have probably never done that either. Understand? You know, that part is fictional as well. There was no half-elves. There's no such thing as a half-elf. That part is fictional as well, because like I told you, they would have never, in a million years and infinite immortality, would have stuck out their neck for their fellow man. Yeah, they even say this. They even say this, even though there's a second and third age. They specifically say this. You know, that part, you know, it might look interesting. It might look like it's, you know, it's just something to write about, because you got to have something to write about. And you got to have some movies and you got to have some series on TV. But, you know, that coalition would have never happened. It never did. Yeah, it didn't happen. It didn't happen. It was just the first stage and that was it. It pissed off. And it's been that way ever since. You understand? It's very, very easy. I mean, they talk about it. They mention it. They even say it. You know, they specifically say this. The fact that you have half-elves in the movies and the books and this TV series, not to mention interracial. Yeah, they are multiracial elves now. That part would have never happened, especially back then. It would have been impossible for it to happen in the first place. You know, it's that part right there of half-elves, and now you have interracial elves. That part would have never happened. Understand? That part is completely fictional. It would have never happened. And that's the reason why you would have never had a coalition of men, elves, and dwarfs fighting Morgoth or Sauron or whoever. Understand? You cannot tell me that an elf with an infinite amount of wisdom and infinite life would risk their neck for a mortal fucking idiot. You cannot say that. I mean, I don't buy it. I would never do that. I would never do that myself. You understand? It's completely pointless. Because they're mortal, it would make it completely pointless to do so. You understand? Because men are mortal, it would make it pointless to stick your neck out if you have immortality and risk the potential of actually dying for a mortal idiot. See, it doesn't make any sense on paper, does it? And it doesn't. That's why it was, you know, it's entirely fictional, you know, after the first stage. Why the fuck would someone who can live infinitely stick their neck out and risk their neck for a mortal fucking idiot? Makes sense nowhere. Yeah, it makes sense nowhere, guys. It's fictional. Especially the part about half-elves. Whatever the hell that is. You know, it's just like they said, and they hint at it over and over. Elrond does this, half-elf. Even that guy wasn't stupid, and he always said something about the corruption of men. And now in the series they say that they are destined for darkness. Of course they are, guy. What the fuck do you think this framing program is? They are destined for darkness, literally and figuratively. Yeah, quite literally. That's the end result every time. You understand? And like I said, you know, no immortal elf would risk their fucking neck for a mortal fucking idiot. It's pointless to do so. Yeah, it would have been over after the first stage, and that would have been, you know, the score would have been settled in the first stage, and they would have fucked off. You understand? Because it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Yeah, it's not worth it. It's not worth it to the elves. Yeah, they would have easily fucked off. So you see, you know, the Tolkien stuff is based loosely on some reality. Doggerland, Western Europe, Northern Europe, and paganism. But that's, you know, that's pretty much it. You know, there's no second or third age. That part is fictional, and you can even tell by the dates. Yeah, you can even tell by the dates, because they actually have dates and months and years to go by in the second and third age, and it's entirely made up of 3s and 6s. Just like they did, you know, just like they did after Worcester. Oh, it was in 1663, and it was in 1660, or it was in, you know, something with a 3 or a 6. And if you look at the Tolkien dates, it's always a 3 and a 6, because it's a lie. Yeah, it's always a 3 and a 6. If you look at the Tolkien dates in the works that in everything that he wrote, in the second and third age, it's always a 3 and a 6, because it's fake. Yeah, I still got blurry vision. You know, it's always a 3 and a 6 in the second and third age in the Tolkien works, because it's based on Freemasonry and it's fake. Yeah, the birth dates, same thing with the birth dates and whatever birth dates they have. If they get married or if they have some kind of event or war, it's always in a 3, you know, the date is always fake. It's always a 3 and a 6. Just like Freemasonry. These drones are out here to see me walk on the sidewalk. Apparently that's the reason they did 9/11. To cut you off on the sidewalk. What a fucking idiot.
Maybe, I don't know.
My forehead hurts. Even my upper jaw hurts from sleeping in that box. We got some chicken, chicken veg. I feel like burping and vomiting right now. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about chicken veg. I'll give it a go. Yeah, it tastes like shit. It didn't rain, guys. Looks like it's nice and clear now. I'm gonna try not to shit myself by eating the donuts or the chicken sandwich. That's very moist. That's probably a little bit too moist for my taste, you know.
Okay. Sí, domani ti vai a parlare.
I've got 2 small bottles of water, and both of them are poison. I don't have any salt or sugar to put in it. Usually makes it better. Let me empty that shit. Pick that up. Sponge. And my face hurts. Even my eyes are black. I got black circles around my eyes from sleeping in there. I gotta put my arm.
What do you mean? Like, I'm coming home after work?
I'm gonna put my arm under my head. Sleep on my arm that way, my hand. That way I don't fucking get fried. Because they shoot it into the bag and it bounces off the bag and the metal that I have in the bag, and I got a lot of metal in there. Oh, fucking hell. My head hurts. My eyes are watering. And my vision is blurry.
Have like hundreds of ships with Death Star lasers on them that appeared from nowhere, so it would be cool to at least see how that was pulled off. And this could also explain that asteroid mining base. The Imperials are mining metal to build this new fleet. It could also be that the remaining Imperials have coalesced on Mandalore, like it's the last stronghold of the old Empire. So Bo-Katan not only has to return to this planet, but she has to destroy the Imperial presence as well. And finally, the big reveal, the remains of
So much fucking noise out here. From fucking 4 a.m. onwards, that's the only thing I heard was noise. Yeah, these shoes are not, like I said, they're pretty interesting for 9 pounds, but they stain easily. It's already got a little bit of stains here and there. It's okay. For 9 pounds. What can you say? How's this big deal? Fuck, it's cold. I gotta go back, go charge and then check to see if the church people are showing up today. It's definitely chilly out here. Thinking that if the keyboard has a ribbon cable, I can reverse. I can plug it in reverse, and maybe it will reset if I pick up the keyboard and plug it in reverse. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure on that. I might break it. God damn, it's fucking cool. It's not too much of a problem. It's just that, you know, I want to see why it's not charging. I mean, why it's not the other keys don't work. I want to see if it's fixable without replacing the keyboard. Oh, shit, it's cool. Start getting closer to 0 degrees and whatever. So, like I said, it's Megan Kelly Galadriel. And that's 100%. So I think I made 48 or 47 bits. It's a lot. Considering your notes. They even got kids. I saw. I saw at the station a few days ago. Yeah, when the police came in, because somebody was sleeping in there, and one of the girls that was in there was Galadriel. That one was like fucking 16, something like that, 15, I don't know who she was. So it's they're match them up with, I mean, there's all the matches from Megan Kelly that are now interchangeable with Galadriel. I remember Galadriel also matches She-Hulk, and then She-Hulk matches Taylor Swift. So you see, they're kind of daisy-chained together, going back to a mixture of a white and black individual with some Asian influence. So that's the reason, and more or less, like I said, they are essentially brothers. All of them are brothers in the sense that they more or less have the same white DNA, probably came from the same male, and yeah, essentially all of them are technically brothers. So you can trace them all back to a single white and a single black individual. It's amazing influence. It's been done so many millions and millions of times. When we're, the whole idea was to get them to be all the same. That way, because the idea is to create the same thing they have in Asia with everybody looking alike because they're Asian. So now these white people, quote unquote, all look alike. It's the source of communism, making everybody look alike. And so it's like I said, they look identical by design. It's not. They don't look different because they don't look similar because it's a coincidence. They look that way because it's by design. It's by design. So Asian communism and granted that was done by the West as well. Like I said, non-whites do not have the means to do communism by themselves. There's no reason to have it. More or less, they don't even have a reason to militarize. It's an idea completely driven by Western traders, essentially traders, by Western influence. Whites, for the most part, do not have a capacity for communism. Now, Asia, obviously, and China in particular, is interesting because that's where you had this Mongolian source of problems for Europe. All right, so it persisted ever since the Mongolian invasions. It persisted in Europe and even Asia up to Japan, right? Because Japan was going through this bullshit as well in the beginning after Genghis Khan invaded, and they invaded as far as Japan. As far as I know, that Japan was going through the same issues that America is going through right now with this this splintering of the country into a million pieces. Right? Now that's the exception. Asia and its proximity to Europe was what brought about Genghis Khan, right? But you see, most other non-whites do not have the capacity for communism. They do not have a will to militarize. It's a completely, even in South America, where you had the reason why you have communism in South America is because you had Europeans in South America. Right? Understand? It's a completely, communism is a completely Western phenomenon, where any places that are in proximity to Europe become communist. Yeah, or say like South America that was colonized by Europe, because obviously there was nobody there, by the way, besides some tribes and stuff and wilderness and jungle. There's nobody there, so it's a Western phenomenon driven by the West. And Asia with Genghis Khan is a perfect example where, like I said, it appears that they had this Genghis Khan fella had some help, definitely. Understand? It's with the exception of Asia, because of its proximity to Europe, having become communist. Yeah, its non-whites do not have a capacity for communism, and they do not have a strong desire to militarize. It's driven by the West, from the West, by traders from the West. Yeah, and if you look at South America, also the places that have it, like Argentina, is one of those. They have it because Europe got in there. Some quote-unquote Europeans got in there. They got communism. Venezuela has communism, allegedly. I don't know. Again, another European-influenced country. And the Mongolian Empire eventually became the source of problems. The source of problems for Europe and Japan and the rest of Asia because of European influence. See, it's most non-whites do not have the capacity for communism or even having a large military. They're not interested in that kind of stuff. They're not it's not most of the places that have communism they have it because of European influence, quote unquote. Now with Asia being just being in proximity to the Kievan Rus, the Mongolian Empire became communist Asia, and communism took off from there. But you see, it's always got something to do with European influence, or quote unquote European influence, because these people are Jews. Yeah, you understand? It's a Jewish enterprise, communism, and so it's quote unquote European in that it's it's in proximity to Europe, or it's settled or colonized by Europe, and then it evolves into communism because Jews. Yeah, like South Africa. See, South Africa is another example. Settled and colonized by Europeans, and eventually it's communist. Argentina, right? Argentina is one example. Settled by Europeans originally, and lo and behold, it became communist. Something is communist. Russia is another example, right? Originally Viking Kievan Rus, Christianized, and then communist revolution, Jewish revolution won. All right, so we dropped off some rubber for us. So it's the places in proximity or places that have been settled by Europeans usually become communists, but it's not Europeans that do it, it's Jewish Europeans. See, it's Jewish Europeans that are doing communism, which is what happened with the Russian Revolution, right? The Ashkenazi Jewry of Genghis Khan, came to power in Russia and got rid of the white ones. Any white people they had in there, right? Whatever remnants of the Kievan Rus were left in Russia, they got rid of them, right? It was the Genghis Khan and the Ashkenazi Jewry in Europe. Even before Genghis Khan, it was Ashkenazi Jewry. Even before it became known as Ashkenazi Jewry, you had these European Jews that were, aiding and abetting communism and the formation of the Genghis Khan invasions. So you see, it's, most non-whites, with the exception of Asia, which was in, proximity to Europe, do not have the capacity to do communism or even the willpower to militarize. It's done by the Western Jewry. Yeah, just like Genghis Khan was aided by the Catholic Church that had Jews in it, and this hominid was the Pope. Yeah, the hominid was the Pope in the Catholic Church from the beginning, because it was Roman Empire, Catholic Church, hominid. Lo and behold, the Catholic Church was aiding and abetting Genghis Khan. See, it's always European influence, quote unquote, meaning hominid Jewish, that ends up causing problems for Europe, causing problems for white Russians, causing problems for the Spanish in South America, causing problems for the British in India. Who caused problems for the British in India? Another pope, meaning it was what's his name? The guy's name, the fucking the skinny guy that decided to starve himself. The guy's name. But you see, it's always, these problems arise from European, quote-unquote, European influence and power. If it's the Catholic Church and the Roman Empire aiding and abetting Genghis Khan, if it's in South Africa being later on Ashkenazi Jewry that installed communism, if it's Argentina or Venezuela, original settled with Spanish and French influence, mostly Spanish, I guess, because they all speak Spanish and speak French over there. And again, you have the same situation in there. So you see, it's always coming from an internal leak. It's always an internal leak that causes these problems and the rise of communism around the world. It's not non-whites. Most non-whites do not have the capacity for it. They don't have the willpower to militarize and bring about communism in their countries because it's not needed. It's not really needed, is it? It wasn't needed in China. But the reason why they have it in China is only because of Western influence, quote-unquote Western, Jewish influence from the West. It's the same in South America, same in South Africa. Now it's fully blown communist all the way. America has the same issues now as South Africa, which is pretty obvious where this is going. It's pretty obvious in Canada as well when I was there, even though I never even got to see the city much, Toronto, but it's pretty obvious as to what the hell is going on in Canada. It's pretty much following in the footsteps of South Africa. And it's always done by an internal leak. Same thing is happening in California. And it's always done by an internal asshole. Yeah? It's always done by an internal jackass. Yeah? That causes these problems in those countries. Are, originally settled by Europeans, quote unquote, because I think it was mostly just a family that did colonialism and imperialism. Most white people would have never left Europe because of obviously safety concerns. You tend to tend to stay in the places where, obviously if you have a big safety concern, you're probably not going to go to America, and you're probably not going to go to South America, and you're probably not going to go to Africa, and you're probably not going to go to Asia, because you obviously have safety concerns, right? So mostly, even though imperialism and colonialism was done entirely by this crew with the bag, it is later, always becomes later communist. See, every time. So Argentina, Venezuela, China, which has some, had proximity to Europe, being, like I said, Genghis Khan being aided and abetted by the Catholic Church, the Roman Empire, the Pope was a hominid, always a hominid. Yeah. So you see, it's always the West, quote unquote the West, that does communism in those places. Yeah. Even if it's just by proximity to Genghis Khan. Yeah. See? So every time, isn't it? Every time. Every time. It's always an internal asshole somewhere, a jackass. I see our homeless comrades are up very early today.
The next train to depart from platform 5 will be the 0754 Southeastern service to Dartford via Bexley. Calling at Waterloo East, Londonbridge, Lewisham, Blackheath, Kidbrooke, Elton, Falconwood, Welling, Bexley, Buncurst and Dartford. This train has 10 coaches. Platform 5 will be the 0754 Southeastern service to Dartford via Bexley.
Got up at 7.
The next train to depart from platform 5 will be the 0754 Southeastern service to Dartford via Bexley. Calling at Waterloo East, Londonbridge, Lewisham, Blackheath, Kidbrooke, Elton, Falconwood. 54 Southeastern service to Dartford via Bexley. The next train to depart from platform 3 will be the 0757 Southeastern service to Orpington. Calling at Waterloo East, London Bridge and Orpington. This train has 12 coaches. Platform 3 of the 0757 Southeastern service to Orpington.
Käsitellään se suuri auto